Perhaps there's a reason why the New York Jets didn't go with the tight end in the 2024 NFL Draft, which leads us to a surprising new favorite target that we haven't been talking enough about with Aaron Rodgers. Let's roll.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Aaron Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
What's poppin', everybody? Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And we've got a lot to get to, baby, including a potential new favorite target of Aaron Rodgers. So let's get right into it. Plus, by the way, if check out social media, we'll maybe get to this on the show tomorrow because I just observed it before we got here on the program. There's some interesting Jets draft nuggets from old Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. There were some interesting notes and quotes that he took away of, coming off of the draft for the New York Jets. So some interesting stuff there. You can find that if you'd like on my social media portals. If you'd like, feel free to do so. All right, let's get right into it. That player that we're talking about here is Zach Kuntz, the tight end for the New York Jets. They took a dart throw at the end of the draft last year, which was interesting because, he was intriguing on all of the, NFL combine notes and quotes and all of those sorts of things. But the problem was he was incredibly raw. He was just like this big-ass piece of clay. It was certainly athletic and certainly talented and all those things, but it was unclear whether or not, he would be able to develop and make some level of a leap. From that perspective to anything interesting. Now, from a statistical perspective, he was non-existent. He didn't have any meaningful stats last year whatsoever. But the thing that was interesting is the things that we didn't see from that conversation. And the things that we did not see are what happened in those secret Aaron Rodgers practices when he came back at the end of last year. We didn't have any media coverage or anything like that on it. So we don't know what was going on there. But on the Pat McAfee show, this is draft night. Pat ends up having Aaron Rodgers on for 10 minutes or so. And in that conversation, of his own accord, Aaron Rodgers brought up Zach Kuntz as a guy that he was building chemistry with. We also have a full article in the YouTube description down below if you guys would like to check that out from last week. It's a really compelling, interesting take and some statistical nuggets and things on Aaron Rodgers and this relationship with Zach Kuntz. Because, again, he is talented. He is big. And then what also, one of the nuggets I'll share with you from the Jeremy Fowler article that we were talking about is... Here's this. I'll just read it for you. This is, again, from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. He said, Georgia tight end Brock Bowers was a consideration for the Jets, but not a major one, which would feed into what Connor Hughes said of SNY, that it was a big smokescreen as far as the Jets' interest in Brock Bowers. And they didn't end up taking a tight end at all in the draft. So now you wonder, why is that? Because on the outside, the people on the outside, when they look at the Jets' tight end room, they kind of go, it's fine. I like Tyler Conklin, and there's a lot of dart throws. If Jeremy Rucker can be anything or what have you, it's we don't know. We don't know what he can bring to the table unless the Jets have some type of feelings based on the Rodgers commentary. I heard Joe Douglas say it as well when he was doing the one-on-one interview with EA. That's on the New York Jets website, where he brings up there have been some players that impressed during that Aaron Rodgers practice time. He didn't mention anyone by name, but if you were to believe what Rodgers said, And then you have Douglas here. Perhaps Zach Kuntz is the mystery target for the New York Jets of someone that could be very, very interesting. Here's what Aaron Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show. Big Zach last year, who we drafted late, him and I had a lot of success late in the season practicing together on the scout team. And again, he brought him up of his own accord. In that 2023 NFL draft, Dane Brugler of The Athletic ranked Kuntz as his number 10 tight end who has, quote, rare size speed tools waiting to be cultivated. He measured in at 6'7" and 255 pounds. He's a massive player, almost like a big-ass wide receiver. And the talent was never in question. We always knew that Zach Kuntz was talented. But now that he has a chance to be catching passes from Aaron Rodgers, high tide rises all boats, baby. And it takes it to another level entirely. That part of the equation is fascinating to me because Conklin's tight end one. Fine. Plug and play. Put him right in there. He's the guy, high floor guy, nice pass catcher. It's going to be very nice. He will provide very nice. But who is the next option? I imagine we're going to get a lot of 12 personnel. We're going to get some multi-tight ends on the field. And a red zone weapon that could be very intriguing is Zach Kuntz. And again, we didn't see anything statistically from last season to suggest that, this is going to be this crazy situation here with Kuntz. But if Aaron Rodgers has built chemistry with the guy, and it's also interesting, let's kind of set it all up. Let's all back it all up. The interesting thing to me is that Zach Kuntz got a rare chance. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't normally be throwing passes to Zach Kuntz on the scout team because if he was healthy, he'd be on the other side. He'd be QB1 for the starters. But because he wasn't getting those legitimate practice reps, like he got practice reps against the number one defense, which are legitimate. But I mean, he wasn't building with like Garrett Wilson and things. That happened in training camp, but that wasn't happening at the end of the season. He was playing with all these bottom of the roster guys, which gave us some intrigue in terms of him being able to work with some of these roster guys that maybe could give them a spotlight that they wouldn't have had otherwise. That to me is intriguing on Kuntz. Very intriguing. Because if Aaron Rodgers can unlock this kid, all of a sudden we've got a secret weapon and maybe one that we've been overlooking, quite frankly. There's just no other way to put it. Zach Kuntz is wildly talented, but we haven't thought a lot about him. Hell, he didn't even make the 53-man roster. I know a lot of Jet fans were concerned that if the Jets would have cut bait, that he would have been scooped up by some other team. That did not happen. They were able to develop him on the practice squad. The expanded 16-man practice squad is what he was. By the way, John B. of Gangrene Nation listed Kuntz as a quote-unquote big winner coming off of the 2024 NFL draft because the Jets didn't add any tight ends. We lost C.J. Uzomah this offseason, lost by like cutting him. I didn't mean like lose. Like, boy, what a key piece. So that leaves Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, Zach Kuntz, Kenny Yeboah. Look at that room for a second. There's Tyler Conklin, and he's fine. But Jeremy Ruckert, he's shown nothing. Kenny Yeboah has been a special teams guy, and then you got Kuntz. Matthias Simon says, why all the Kuntz chatter? I'm locking the Kuntz. Well, I don't know if that's going on T-shirts, but, there is something to be said for this talent, and also apparently for the name as well. Now, he's 24. He was the 220th overall pick in the 7th round of the 2023 NFL draft. Like I said, he didn't make the roster, and he appeared in 3% of the offensive snaps. So, again, the only thing we can draw from this is the budding chemistry behind the scenes of what this could be. That's it. We don't have any statistics to point to. The other thing I would point to, it's also featured in the article, is Jake Asman had CJ Mosley on his show a bunch of months ago. And Jake Asman was having this back and forth with CJ about I don't want to say infamous, that's not the right way to say it, but these we've been hearing some, stories at the bar about how Aaron Rodgers was doing all these incredible things on scout team, but are they real? And Jake Asman tried to make sure that it wasn't just a bunch of, PR stuff from the Jets. Oh, yeah, he looks great. They were just saying that to say that. But apparently CJ Mosley said to Jake Asman that Rodgers was, quote unquote, lighting up the Jets defense. Here's what he said. I really wish I could just show you guys a few plays that I recorded. Obviously, the pass rush isn't going full speed or anything. He has a little bit more time to make a throw, but just him making that throw, the arm power, the precision. It's a beautiful thing to see. He throws a great ball. And he explained to him that there were players that Rodgers was throwing to that didn't even suit up on offense. They hadn't even played a game yet he made them look like all pros, according to Mosley. And one of those players he could be talking about, baby, is old Zach Kuntz. So I'm just saying he could be a very interesting guy for the New York Jets. There's opportunity. There's meat on the bone at the tight end position, which to me is pretty gosh darn interesting. Pretty gosh darn interesting indeed. And I see we have all kinds of conversations going on in the chat. So number one, shout out to the New York Knicks. What a fun game against the Pacers, back and forth. That was exciting, no doubt about it. And the Knicks, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, another 40-point game. I mean, that was fun. And oh my goodness, the Denver Nuggets are down 0-2. They went 0-2 at home, and now it goes back to Minnesota. This series could be wrapped up real quick, like, whoa, mamacita. Okay, did not have that on the bingo card, so throw that a little bit in there as well. Let me jump into the chat here. Dakota says, Kuntz is a wasted, let me put that back up, wasted 6'8". Yeah, I believe he's listed 6'7", but wasted, okay. Not everyone's on the bandwagon. That's all right. I can appreciate it. Not everyone's there. Let's see. A lot of F Indiana. So Allen's reverse psychology did not work, trying to root on the Pacers. That did not work. Kuntz is only tight end worthy. Tight end 4 worthy. Oof. Would love to see Zach show up this year. He's got tools. NC, that's a good point. Good point. He does have tools. We'll see if they can be maximized. Phil says definitely has talent. There sure is. There's an overwhelming amount of talent. It was a worthy risk by the Jets. It was a 7th round dart throw. Low risk, potential high reward. Yeah, he's a very intriguing player in my mind. A very intriguing player. That was fantastic. There's some Allen, some Allen Pacers Knicks action going on in the chat. Well, you guys will have to dive in there if you can. But I am really intrigued by Zach Kuntz. Plus, if you really think about the room for a second, and I mentioned this before, Tyler Conklin is a free agent after this year. So is Kenny Yeboah. So is Kuntz. And then Ruckert only has 1 year left after this year. So, like, the tight end room could look very different here in the near future. The Jets are giving everybody a chance to see who's going to separate themselves, unless we get some sort of surprise extension this offseason, which I'm not anticipating at the tight end position anyway. So there's potential for there. I'm curious to see. I am curious to see what we can see there. But can Kuntz play basketball? Well, at that size, I'm sure there's a spot on the New York Knicks if you'd like that as well. But I'd be kind of interested by the kid because really, I'm just, because obviously he was the combine freak. He had the the spider chart where it shows athleticism and all these other things. Like he was there. That's part of the equation I'm kind of excited about. And then I saw this other quote. Let me see if I can. On Zach Kuntz. I was reading about it because I was looking at his combine profile, and these are fun little profiles to read. Lance Zierlein, the NFL draft analyst for NFL.com, he writes most of these, but he always has some intriguing nuggets in here on some of the size and specs for some of these players. Yeah, at the combine, he measured at 6'7", 255 pounds, 34-inch arms, 10 1/4 hands. He had a 5.9 draft grade from Lance, which is pretty good. Yeah, let me see. So, yeah, he did football and track in high school, it looks like. Yep, that's what it looks like. He had some stuff at Penn State before going over to Old Dominion. Was All-Conference USA. Had 73 catches, 9.5 yards per reception. That's a nice number. And tied for the team lead in receiving touchdowns in his 13 games. Oh, very interesting. Speed, athleticism guy, but he's just not as fluid on tape. Lance Zierlein had this written on the combine profile coming in. He's more a big receiver than a tight end. Hands are subpar, not strong enough to outwork grabby coverage or win contested catches right now. A team could view him as a day 3 pick and stash him while he develops. Yeah, here are some of the strengths Zierlein listed. Tremendously long with explosive testing potential, former high jump and hurdles champ. I did not know that. Room for more muscle mass, wingspan to reach over the top, build up speed, able to wall off defenders. All right, let's read the weaknesses. He only had 15 starts in college. All right. Trouble releasing in his routes. crowded at the top of the route, lacks desired coordination as a pass catcher, too much finesse in his run blocking for inline work as a pro, which if all of that bears true, as Lance Zierlein wrote, it's hard for him to get on the field as an extra tight end if you can't block. Because if you can block, at least that could get you on the field. But apparently, despite the size, it's an area of concern for old Kuntz. So you'll probably be restricted, at least unless Rodgers has something else for red zone packages. You could probably use him as a big box out, Jimmy Graham-ish kind of thing on the outside. But if you can't block and can't be an inline guy, unless you're playing him at like a flex tight end, which I don't anticipate because that would mean you're taking one of Corley, Garrett Wilson, or Mike Williams off the field, and that doesn't make any sense. So probably in 2024 anyway, maybe we'll have a chance for, I don't know if it'll be Tunyon-like production, but you'll have a chance for some pops, which I think will be kind of interesting. So we'll see. Yeah, why not? Very interesting indeed. Yeah, I know. I'm wearing the retro hat now. I get that. Dewey Nation. Nice retro hat. This is went from new to old so quickly. I'm going to be honest. I told you guys about this big-ass hat collection back there on the hall. I only have one of the retro/new logo, which is the JETS with the trailing J that's over my right shoulder for those who are watching. I only have one, and that's a brand new draft hat that they just got. So I've got to update the gear. No doubt about it. I will have to look into that. Those will be future purchases, I'm sure. Very interesting. All right, I'll do this. I'll open up the phone lines here, answer some of your guys' calls. We'll keep that party rolling, no doubt about it. All right, let's go. Put this out in the universe. Here we go. But some good stuff. But I hope out. That would be a lot of fun. He's a big ass dude. Could get in on the field. I'm excited just for offense to be relevant. That's what I'm really excited about, quite frankly. There's been a lot of just defense. I'm gonna go video call in link. That's now dropped on YouTube, and I'll give you guys the same speech I do every day. If you'd like to call into the show, you'll have to hop on over to the YouTube side. We're also on Heavy on Jets. Thank you to Heavy for supporting the show, and also on Twitter at BoyGreen25. Hit the follow and like button, baby. Okay, let's see. Paul, do you wash your hats? I see. I do not. Back in the old days, I used to because I'm a hat freak. I think it was my brother or father. I think it was my brother. He got me like this hat thing that you put. It's like a metal cage for a hat. You open it up, you plop the hat in there. It's supposed to protect it in some way so it doesn't get all roughed up. And that's supposed to help it. And then you have to use a special wash. But no, I used to have that when I was younger, but I do not. Wash the hats. No, sir. I do not. But I keep mine clean because, like I said, I have I don't like stack them on like a table or something. We got the hat collection back there on the wall, so they just hang up. But that's it. But no, do not wash. No washy. That's for sure. No washy. All right, let's jump over to the phone lines. We've got Bobby joining us here. Good morning, Bobby.
How you doing, Paul? You doing good this morning?
You bet I am. Yeah, I woke up this morning.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I think that kid's good that Aaron Rodgers throws to.
Yeah, he seems like has a lot of potential.
Yeah, he even said that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He said he built some chemistry with him and the scout team when he was lighting up the first defense. We'll kind of see. I think there's opportunity to go up the depth chart. I don't know where he sits right now, but I think he's got a chance to rise up a bit. Mm-hmm.
He's a tight end, right?
Yes, yep, tight end. Old Dominion and Penn State is where he came out of.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where he came from. And our Knicks won yesterday.
I saw that. Very nice. Fun game, back and forth. A little scary at times there in the fourth quarter, but man,
I know.
trust the New York Knicks.
Got me nervous again.
Yeah, it got me nervous. I'm not even a Knicks fan, and I was watching that going, whoa, okay.
What team do you like?
You're not going to like to hear this, Bobby. I'm going to be honest, but
what?
I'm a Boston Celtics fan, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, well, okay, it's like the Yankees and the Red Sox, right? The Yankees have
Yes.
more champions, and then the Celtics have
That's
more
true.
than the Knicks. The last
Yes.
time the Knicks won a championship, I was 5.
73.
Yeah. Isn't
That's
that
right.
me and your dad's the same age, like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was born in 68.
Yeah, I was too. Yeah.
That's
So
a good
yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah. Let's go, Knicks. We're gonna beat you in the fine. Or we're gonna beat you in the Eastern Conference. I have faith.
Whoa,
I have
whoa,
faith in
easy
my
there,
team.
Bobby. The Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes.
Well, that's good. That's good. My radio partner's a Knicks fan, so that's going to be some entertaining radio here in Syracuse
Who's
if
that?
that happens, and I hope it does.
Who's
Yeah.
your radio?
My radio host is Jim Lurch. His nickname's the Man-Child. He's from Syracuse, and
Oh,
he's
you
a
know who
big.
else
He
went
used
to
to be a season
Syracuse?
ticket holder.
You know
Who's
who
that?
used to? He was on the WFAN at one time. Now he's on FS1.
Ooh, I don't know who.
Craig Carden.
He's a Syracuse guy.
Yep, he went to
Wow,
Syracuse.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yep,
everywhere. It's
then
like a
he-
disease. Yeah.
Oh, I like him though. I like Craig
Yeah,
Carden.
he's a nice guy. I know. You guys had a good chat the other day. Yeah.
He used to have a show on another channel. I can't remember what was it called. I used to call up. He used to have this nice looking girl as a co-host.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she got married though. I was upset. She got married. I was upset.
Yeah, off the
I was
market.
jealous.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I know. It was, and then they had this guy Corey. Okay, Parsons. Yeah, he's a Dallas Cowgirl fan.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Yeah.
Then Gabe Morency.
No.
Well, he does sports right now, and he took over for it when he went to jail. He had to
Oh,
go to jail.
geez. Okay.
You
No,
didn't
that
hear
makes
Craig
sense.
Car- You didn't hear Craig Carden went to jail?
I remember that. Yeah, there was some dark
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
I know, but he's a lot better now.
Hey, you know
My
what?
friend.
We all get better once we go to prison, right?
No, I don't want to go there.
Okay.
Well, nice talking to you, Paul. You're awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Bobby, who is a part of the Boy Green Super Fan Club. Guys, make sure you do it. Free way to contribute is by liking the video, hitting subscribe. Make sure you guys do that. Spread the channel, spread the gospel for all things New York Jets every gosh darn day at 7:30 in the morning, baby. We appreciate you. Bobby is a trip. Love having Bobby on the show. Anywho, another guy's a trip. Fun listen, fun watch. He makes everyone better. You like having those kind of players on the team. You insert them in, they raise the talent around them. So let's do that right now. Let's bring in Johnny here on the program. What's up, Johnny?
What's up, bro? I guess I would be like the Antonio Cromartie of the team, right? Because of all the kids I got.
By the way, I did not see that coming during the Tom Brady roast on Sunday. A Tom Brady Cromartie shot about the kids. He said back at the beginning, it was back when he only had one kid. I was like, whoa, mama. Didn't have that on the bingo card. So, yeah, Crow catching strays.
It made my very not liking of Tom Brady heighten even more, dude. Like, I was just like, mother effer, dude. Like, how could you still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Savage
whatever.
bastard.
I know. It was funny as crap, though, dude. That was
great. I was laughing the entire time.
Yeah,
I was laughing the entire
hilarious,
time.
bro. You know who had the best for me was that Andrew Schultz kid, and Drew Bledsoe was funny as crap, bro. That dude had me dying, man. So,
and I didn't know anything about Schultz. I'm going to be honest. So, like, there's some of those cats that were there that I must just be too old. Some of the younger generation that was there that I was like, I have no idea who these people are. But then I heard them do comments. I was like, holy crap, man. I got to expand the old docket. I was like, some of these guys are pretty good. And same thing for Bledsoe. I think I said it the other day. But, like, when you get the players come up, you're kind of like, I have no idea. I mean, I know Bledsoe's career. I remember Bledsoe like the back of my hand. But I'm like, what is he going to be like when he comes up to the mic? And Bledsoe was friggin' hilarious. He had some great stuff.
Even when he said the whole, like, September 1st, when those two New York Jets collapsed your leg, I was like, oh,
Tom Brady, when he had the 9/11 Jets joke, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my.
But, dude, I see you got that, the letter opener logo up here on the,
That's right.
on that side. right?
Yeah, I updated it because we had all the draft stuff. So I'm like, let me update all the logos. Let me get some in there. And I'm like, oh, it would be a funny one. I'm like, the one that I think is just the weirdest of all of them. And I'm like, maybe if I'm forced to stare at it every day, maybe it'll grow on me.
No,
So
it
yeah,
will not, bro. That's the logo we use when we're having a badass season, and only real New York Jet fans know what it is. So you wear it out, and
right.
then
It's like an
give you
inside
the
joke.
head
What is
nod.
that? Is that a high school team? What's going on there? Like, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand. I saw it. It was Rodgers because the Jets every once in a while, after they have a couple practices on their website, they'll say like photo gallery from the day of practice, and I'm like, and I'll normally kind of flick through. I'm like, oh, what's there? Rodgers was rocking that hat. That was so funny.
But let me go back to the Kuntz thing, right?
Yes.
So I've been high on Kuntz forever and a day, ever since. I mean, I've watched him out here playing ODU. He's a monster, right? So Robert Tunyon, right? 6'5", undrafted kid from Indiana State, right? From what I saw, got drafted, got picked up by the Lions, stashed into their practice squad, got cut. Packers picked him up, put him on his practice squad, and guess who was the person that was there learning with him during that whole time?
Wow, Rodgers.
So there's something to be said about that, because again, Rodgers, when he says somebody's name or when he says anything, there's always reasoning behind it. So I think Kuz is gonna put the league on watch, bro. Like, that dude's tall, man. He's big. All he needs to do is post up in that end zone, and he'll just throw it up to him. Where you got them DBs that are like 5'2", and this dude's like 6'7", almost 6'8". So
yeah, that's the thing that I'm going to be honest that, like, if Aaron Rodgers, they said, hey, what do you think of Zach Kuntz? And he said something about Zach Kuntz, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, he was asked about it. But, like, he wasn't even asked about it. And he, of his own accord, brought up the fact that, like, ooh, big Zach, we're developing some chemistry. It's like, whoa, just out of nowhere, just kind of dropping that nugget. I think you're right. I think it's one of those, when Aaron Rodgers speaks, we listen, and some people don't like what he has to say. But every once in a while, you squint and say, did he just say big Zach? Was he talking about Zach Kuntz? Okay. So I just got to put that on the bingo card. So I had to wait to do this show, but I was like, man, that is interesting. Interesting that he brought that up.
And not only him too. Salah brought him up without ever being asked about Kuntz. JD brought him up without ever asking about Kuntz. So there's something to there. But I guess I'm gonna let the next caller get in, because I've already been ranting up here. But I want to say shout out to our guy Allen. Go Knicks, baby. Knicks in 5 over them Pacers. I know he's over there probably, throwing his fists up in the air.
Yeah, I heard him crying about the officiating earlier. Yeah, he said it was pathetic or something. Yeah,
I felt that tear all the way from Dallas over here in Virginia. So, because I hope he's listening, man. So,
I'm sure he is.
JETS, Jets. Appreciate you, bro.
There you go, Johnny. Love you, brother. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. That's good. Wait, I want to bring something up. I saw someone say something and it was funny. Dave Briga, you guys can only see it when someone's joining the show, but we've updated. If you watch on YouTube, it used to be in the four corners. When we have two people on the show, you can see the layout of like Boy Green Daily, like and subscribe, and in the top four corners are Jets logos. So you have the normal JETS trailing J, again over my right shoulder, but the other one was the weird logo where it's a green oval and it's supposed to apparently be a jet. But, like, it just looks like, people have said a bottle opener and all these other things. But Dave Briga on YouTube says that logo is for generic jet fans or aviation enthusiasts. That is funny. You're right. You're out in the streets. You're like, what? Yeah, I'm just a fan of airplanes and aircrafts. Okay. Well. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Frank asked on Facebook, didn't see it. Is it true Brady got upset about a craft massage truck? Yeah. So here's my thing. On roast in general, okay? If you show up to a roast, everything is on the table. First off, if you show up to a roast, you're available to get, like, lit up, even if you're in the crowd. That's like going to a comedy show. If I go to the comedy show, I sit in the front row. There's a chance he's going to say, hey, look at you, doofus. And you know what? That's what you sign up for, number one. So if you're there in the building, there's a chance you could catch some strays. Hell, even if you're not in the building, you could catch some strays. This is what we saw with Cromartie. And here's the other thing. Apparently, and it became clear, Frank, watching the Tom Brady roast, and that's what we're talking about. On Sunday, folks, Netflix had a 3-hour live stream of the Tom Brady, like, greatest roast of all time. And I think it's his name's like blanking me for whatever reason, but the roast king, whatever his name is, it's Jeff Ross. I think that's his name. It's something Ross. My brain's like failing right now. But the thing is that I thought was like, come on, man, like, what are we talking about? Yeah, it is Jeff Ross. So Jeff Ross has this joke about Kraft and the massage parlor. And Tom Brady, of course, if you're watching the Netflix show, you have whoever is the person on stage, like, making fun of things. And you can see at the same time, normally, as long as the camera shot isn't tight, you can see Tom Brady reacting to whatever is being said. And normally they cut to him. And Jeff Ross does a joke about, again, Kraft massage thing. And then Tom Brady gets up from his seat and goes over and attempts to whisper to Ross, but there's a mic right there, so we all hear it. He's like, don't do that again. He's telling him, like, cut out the massage jokes. Like, that's not cool. That's, like, off the table. Apparently, it was a negotiated thing before they even did this roast. That's the one thing that you're not allowed to jump into. And I'm like, come on, man. If you go to a roast, anything's on the table. And then Kevin Hart confirmed it later in the show. Kevin Hart was doing a one-on-one with Kraft out in the audience. And he says, I know we said no jokes for you, Kraft. But come on, man. Don't be a puss. You go out there to do a friggin' roast. Everyone's available. But it did seem like Brady got upset because that must have been the negotiated thing to do this roast. Hey, man, you could say anything you want about me, but, like, that's off limits. So I guess that could have been possible, too. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines. We got someone new on the show. Let's bring him in. We got James here on the channel. What's up, James?
Paul, what's going on, man? How are you? Great show. I watch all the time. I just subscribe. Give you a little
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Keep up the good work. I'm pretty fiery about our Jets. Zach Kuntz. Did Aaron bring him up out of nowhere? Like, when did this? I didn't even see it. When did this come up?
Yeah, so on draft night, first round, Jets draft Olu Fashanu, and then Pat McAfee's having this, like, draft super show on YouTube and ESPN and all these other places with Belichick and a bunch of other guys. And he calls in Rodgers to, like, react to a bunch of the stuff. And they were talking about Fashanu and all this other stuff. And then Pat says, oh, boy, man, Brock Bowers would have been a huge upgrade for you guys. And then Rodgers says, I love our freaking tight end room. I don't know what you're talking about. And he starts going through, and they said, ooh, big Zach. We were building chemistry and doing things on scout team, and it raised a lot of eyebrows. Like, wow, you brought up Zach Kuntz out of nowhere, this guy that not a lot of Jets people are talking about. He's kind of buried on the depth chart, and no one's really thinking of him. But, man, Rodgers highlighted him, and then throughout this offseason in random interviews, Saleh brought up Kuntz, Joe Douglas brought up Kuntz. So everyone's bringing this kid up that no one had been talking about. So it's got some people thinking that maybe he's like some secret sauce guy we're going to get surprised about this year.
How old is he? What is he? He's like 24, right?
24, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 24. So between Ruckert and help me out here. Where am I?
Conklin. Yeah. And we got Kenny too. Yeah.
But he's not going to sniff the field unless it's in the red zone. And it's
right,
not the gold zone. It's not the gold zone. It's the red zone. So I don't want to hear about the gold zone anymore. There's no gold in that zone for a long time. So I don't want to hear about any gold zone. But
please.
Yeah, listen, 6'7", he can jump through the building. If you line him up out wide and you just throw one of those fades, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to come down to it. So I like that, but we'll see what comes of it. I think Ruckert's going to have Ruckert's going to be a big mismatch this year. I think they're going to put him in the H-back spot at sometimes too. I think you could have Conklin and maybe him in the backfield at times as well, because he's big, fast, and great hands. He's got great hands.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of one-handers. Like Ruckert hasn't had like a crazy stats. It's not like he's caught 100 balls in the first 2 years or anything. But on the ones he has, there's been some crazy one-handers. You're like, ooh, there's some potential there. I really want to see more from Ruck.
Me too. I think this is the year we're going to see more from him. Conklin's he's your consummate professional tight end. He's going to catch you
Mhm.
65 balls. He's going to be able to.
Yeah.
He's gonna road grade a little bit. He's going to block for you. But this Zach Kuntz stuff has me interested. But I appreciate you taking the call, man. And I'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right, awesome. James joining us on the show. New blood. Like I tell you guys all the time, the phone lines are open for callers that call 1,000 times, new times, no times. It doesn't matter. And also shout out to Jake Asman, who's out there in the comment streets. Boy Green in the morning, baby. We were giving Jake Asman a shout out for that interview he did with Mosley a while back. Very, very nice with CJ Live. That was really cool. A lot of great content coming from the Asman train. A lot of great content coming from our resident offensive coordinator, EZ, who joins us live from the truck. What's up, Easy?
How you doing, Paul?
Awesome, man.
Well, like I was saying, we don't know what goes on inside of the building. And apparently the reason they didn't go and get that Bowers kid is because they don't need him.
Yeah. It seems like it, based on everything I'm hearing. It seems like they feel pretty good about Ruckert. And Kuntz is this surprise guy. I think Kenny Yeboah's more a special teamer, but he's another guy who's on the roster too.
Oh, Green Bean loves Yeboah. He's been talking about Yeboah since he was in college.
Yeah,
Jesus
Green Bean's
Christ.
a big tight end guy. I know he liked, I think it was Mayer. Who was the tight end he just liked recently over the last couple of years? I can't remember the name.
I don't know,
yeah.
but you give Green Bean some butter and he'll slather it all over a tight end.
We got to get that on a T-shirt. I love that line. That's great.
Oh, my God. He just loves his tight ends, man.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it.
There was a comedian from Long Island called Bob Nelson, and he did this Bob Hope special thing where they used to do the college All-Americans. And he does this one guy. He goes, like Wesley Jones, University of San Francisco. This year I'm a tight end. Next year I hope to be a wide receiver.
That's a great line.
It was so bad.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my God! Go watch that Bob Nelson football thing. You'll die laughing.
I love it. Will do. Easy. That's awesome.
Oh man. Anyway, this is going to be a short talk.
Okay.
Anyway, you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Safe travels, Ed. Joining us, Edward here, our resident trucker on the show. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to go check out that clip. That's awesome. Dakota says, excited for Qantas stickers, man. I'm telling you, I heard about him initially when I heard the Qantas stickers thing this offseason. Mel Kiper, and he ended his show, unfortunately. Dari and Mel was an ESPN radio show Saturday mornings for a long time. I used to listen to that show. And Mel Kiper brought up this kid, Qantas stickers. And I said, wow, what an interesting story. They were just kind of grazing the surface of who this kid was months ago. And I'm like, someone to keep an eye out for, I guess. And then they brought him back up. They did another podcast, it's First Draft, with Field Yates and Mel Kiper. They brought up Qantas stickers again. I'm like, wow, that's an interesting name. Okay. Wow, the CFL story. Wow, that could be. I'm kind of curious where he'd be drafted because it's such a uniqueness because of never going to college. Like, he was supposed to go to college, and he had a family death, and then he had to go back and take care of his family, and then arena, or fan-controlled football rather than CFL and everything else. A fascinating backstory. And to be honest, I think he is the perfect guy to develop in a room. We have a lot of these rare opportunities. Jordan Travis in the quarterback room, have an Aaron Rodgers, Tyrod Taylor to learn from. Olu Fashner, Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses to learn from. One that's not getting enough love that deserves it, Dakota, is the corners, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II. For Qantas to be around those guys, the best cornerback group in the NFL, and to learn from those guys, to me, invaluable learning experience for the young man. And he seems like a go-getter. The Jets keep saying that they refuse to believe this kid's ever going to fail because he just has the want to. He's got the talent and everything else. So it seems like a guy that is going to be that cornerback 4 or 5 wherever he stands on the roster. There's Isaiah Oliver down there and a couple others, but he's going to just gain knowledge from these other guys. And as a few shuffle out, because again, 4 of the top 5 corners not named Qantas stickers and outside of Sauce are set to be free agents. That's Michael Carter II. That's DJ Reed. That's Brandon Eccles. And that's Isaiah Oliver. So depending on what kind of happens with that group, Qantas stickers could go from not a lot of playing time outside of special teams this year. To the next step is maybe he becomes that starter that you develop. And that's what you're supposed to do in the draft. You're supposed to bring guys in, supposed to develop them, and hopefully they become starters. That could be a very interesting 5th-round pick. Qantas Diggers. Love the story, love the player, and would love to see it. So that's a great opportunity there. Great opportunity for the kid. Scott says on YouTube, Jets are going and winning the Super Bowl. I couldn't agree more, baby. I'm fired up. Just like James said earlier, like he's fired up about this Jets team. I'm friggin' fired up, baby. This is exciting. This is really exciting. John Sauer, part of our Board Green Superfan Club, he says, we needed an offensive tackle, and that's what we got. And I love Fashanu. If we go back, tail the tape, again, we do an episode every day. You go back a bunch of months ago, the player I wanted was Olu Fashanu, baby. This was pre-Tyron Smith, pre-Morgan Moses. He was one of my favorite players in the class, elite pass protector, a true left tackle. That was important to me. That's an important position. I know right tackles are important too, but not as important as left tackles. So if Joe Alt wasn't possible, and there's only scant, we tried to believe that it was possible, but it was way more likely that Fashanu was there, and that's who they got. So I love the kid. He seems like a bright kid, so I'm really excited for him. He gets to learn from his idol, Tyron Smith. That can only help. Bo and Green Bean are perfect together. I miss Green Bean. Again, if our schedules weren't opposite, we'd be doing a regular show together because I freaking love Green Bean. He's my boy. I love Green Bean. He's awesome. Yeah, but I've not heard about. Apparently, I didn't know about this Green Bean Love Fest with Yeboah. That's funny though. Johnny Boy Green. How about the other story of the kid that the Jets just picked up and his pops passed during 9/11? I actually don't think they signed him. I will have to double check that. It's McSweeney, I believe, is the kid's name. I believe he tried out. He was a tight end. He tried out for the Jets over the weekend, but I don't think he cracked the roster. Patrick McSweeney is the player's name. I don't think he ended up making the team. That doesn't mean he won't eventually make the team at some other future point. But yeah, the kid's name is Patrick McSweeney. It's a powerful story. Staten Island kid. If you guys haven't seen the story, Ethan Greenberg, my boy from the New York Jets, Syracuse alum, he wrote the story, and it's some pretty compelling stuff. Some very compelling stuff. So, yeah, I'm double checking the roster right now, but I'm pretty sure he just tried out. I don't think he made the roster. Let me see. Yeah, he is not listed on the Jets roster sheet, so I do not believe McSweeney made it. He tried out. But the good news is that even though he didn't make the team now, that doesn't mean he'll never not make the team. But it is a powerful story, So I do hope he gets an opportunity. It's really cool. He's powered through a lot. How he even got a chance at Coastal Carolina, like again, it's powerful stuff, and those are the kind of inspirational stories we all like to hear. No doubt about it. Yes, so we just did for Tio_Uncle VR. Shout out to him and their new show. Proud NYJ fan, Nick Shine, all those guys. Brand new show on Sundays. Some Sunday shenanigans, phenomenal. Yeah, and let's pour one out for Pee Wee Jarrett. Pee Wee. That would have been phenomenal. Pee Wee. Nah. Apparently, he said on Twitter it was medical stuff. He had to sit out 2 years of football because of some injuries. Apparently, the Jets still have some issues with that. So that's too damn bad. I'll get to some more of these comments here in just a second. But let's go to our number one Pacers fan, Alan, here on the call-in line. What's up, Alan?
First of all, congrats to the Knicks. I heard the paychecks were in the mail. Actually, they were at the hotel after the game with 3 blind mice reffing last night. That was
frozen envelope.
Oh my God, was that Stevie Wonder did a great job last night. It was phenomenal. But again, congrats to the Knicks. They deserved it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Pacers at 5?
No, I think the Knicks win it. I thought the Knicks would win in 6 in general, but now after last night, I think it's going to be the Knicks at 4. I mean, if they're going to get no calls, what do you expect? But I think Knicks.
Yeah, and Halliburton, by the way, I know this is a football show, but Halliburton, I mean, he's got to step up if they're going to do anything. We'll have to see.
He did, but you know what? Dante, he's a couple of blocks away from Broadway. That was phenomenal acting yesterday. It was great. Oh my God. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Good work. Okay. If the Knicks thing doesn't work out, there's always acting. That's a
masterpiece last night. As far as Zach Kuntz is concerned, if the Jets realize, he's allergic to blocking. if he's going to just go out on passes, and it'll definitely be a matchup nightmare in the red zone. I don't expect anything more because, again, he doesn't believe in blocking. I don't think that's even part of his vocabulary.
Right.
If you're going to use him maybe 3-4 times in the game within the red zone, I understand that. I don't expect anything more from him. He just doesn't understand what the word blocking is. He's not a complete tight end. He's a one-dimensional pass-catching tight end in the red zone. That's all he is.
And by the way, if that's true, I don't think he makes a 53-man roster, and maybe he's a practice squad elevation for certain red zone packages, because if that's all he could contribute, that's not worthy of a 53-man spot.
I can agree with that to a point. See, I'm not a Yeboah guy. I think Yeboah is a
no, you're not a Yeboah guy? No, sorry, Green Bean. Yeah.
He's a CFL tight end. That's all he is. He is not an NFL tight end. Come on. How many if they cut him tomorrow, any teams pick him up? Really?
Well, no, because no team has, right? Even when Kenny Yeboah has been floating around on the practice squad, it's not like people have been banging down his door, so you're probably right. Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind them keeping a Kuntz over a Yeboah because I think Kuntz, if you look at the two players, I think Kuntz provides a value that Yeboah doesn't. I think he's a guy in the red zone that could be more of a weapon than Yeboah can. Yeboah is a marginal NFL player. He's a CFL tight end, in my opinion. So if you're going to carry a third or a fourth tight end, I wouldn't mind if it's Kuntz. But people going crazy over Zach Kuntz should tame it down a little bit. He's not an NFL tight end. He's not a complete NFL tight end. He's a one-dimensional pass-catching jump ball tight end in the red zone. That's all he is.
Fair. It's very fair. By the way, I've got a caller who is requested to come on at the same time as you, Alan. So
I can't. Well, let me guess. Is it Johnny?
There he is.
Oh my God.
Hey, Alan, how about the Rangers too, bro?
I think the Rangers are a better team. I mean, I'd rather have you play in net than Carolina's goaltender. So, but
hey,
Johnny,
can I get a song from you though, man? Go New York, go New York, go New York, go New York.
Never, ever. I heard you taught Dante how to act like that last night. That was beautiful. That was flop central. That was beautiful.
You know, Broadway's right there, man. So they do a lot of
right
there.
Yeah. Do I consider that a foul? I do, because I remember all the Knick fans killed me, like Jake Asman, the great Jake Asman, when my Iowa women's player did the same exact thing. They're like, oh, no, that's not a foul. No, that's not a foul. Last night was bullshit. But you know what? I give the Knicks credit. I think the Knicks will win this series in 6 or 5, and I think they'll lose to the Celtics. But again, it's a good run. It's a good run.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we're going to beat the Celtics. I'm sorry, you got to hear his boy Green.
Oh,
but
stop it,
Chris
Johnny.
Stapps
Come on.
can't stay healthy, man.
Paul,
can't stay healthy.
Paul, tell him the truth. Come on.
We don't even need KP.
We all know the truth.
Come
on,
Johnny.
Year of the.
It's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, let's
the
just
year
be
of
honest.
the underdogs.
Yeah. It's the little engine that could chuck it, and then all of a sudden you're going to run into something at the top of the hill, and then that train's going to start going in reverse and fall right back down where it came from. It's a fun story. We're all rooting for it. They're the lovable losers, but let's be real. Come on, John.
Yeah, that's the Celtics.
Celtics Wolves in the finals. Don't worry, it'll be fun to watch, man. Celtics Wolves.
All right.
But again, I congratulate your Knicks. That was a fine win. It was great to have the refs in their back pocket. It was fantastic to watch that last night.
Hey,
great.
they made him an offer they couldn't refuse.
Oh, it was beautiful last night. And by the way, how is that a kick ball in the last minute? The play right before the Dante 3.
Yeah, and no reviewable on the kick ball. So tough. All right, thanks, Johnny.
That was Ray Charles. That was that referee that last night. But but I commend all Knick fans for being very humble after last night's victory. But again, Paul, we know they're going to get smoked in the next round. We know it.
They're 1,000% getting smoked. But hey, you know what? Enjoy it while you can. The Knicks hadn't made a trip like this since I think it's like early 2000s. I got to go back when they've been on like an Eastern Conference Finals kind of run. So hey, there's something to that. So there you go.
And final comment, I don't even hate the Knick players. I actually like the Nova 3. I just hate snobby Knick fans. I hate them. The worst. The sticky word. But thanks a lot, Paul. Okay, give my regards to Jimmy. Okay, have a good one.
All right, will do. Thank you, Alan, for joining us. All right, let's keep this thing rolling. We got Bess joining us on the show. He's on the move. What's up, Bess?
What's up, boy Green?
What's poppin', baby?
Not much, brother. Man, I'm very interested in Zach Kuntz, man. I think he's gonna be pretty good. The fact that Aaron talked about it, man, I'm a little excited about it, man. I thought he was gonna be good last year too. He was just in the learning process, so
yeah.
And
yeah. I'm excited about the kid, man. A lot of talent.
He was coming off an injury too. I believe. So.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But man, yeah, he's a big target, man. Big target in the end zone for him. So I see big things coming from him.
Fingers crossed, man. I hope so. There's going to be a lot of offense, a lot of touchdowns spraying all over the place, and Zach Kuntz could be one of the chosen ones. That's catching a couple, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for the basketball thing, I don't really follow it as much. I mean, obviously, I follow the playoffs right now, but I'm a Celtics fan myself, so.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's take care of some business. It's time to hang up banner number 18. It's been too damn long.
Yeah. But, man, I just wanted to get in, just say what's up and give a shout out and talk about the Zach Kuntz thing a little bit. I'll let you get to the next callers, Ben.
Thanks,
enjoy the show, bro. Keep it going, man.
Oh, thank you so much. And us Jets Celtics fans are very rare. So when I can see some other ones, it's pretty awesome. So, okay, Bess, yeah, we'll be taking care of business. Again, I know I don't talk about it a lot, people, because, we're Jet fans, and there's a lot of New York things. A lot of you fans are all New York people. So, I know it's sacrilege and all this other stuff, and I have to explain it all the gosh darn time. My father was born in Gatineau, Mass. My mother was born in Rhode Island, so I got a lot of New England blood in me, Red Sox and Celtics. Sorry, it is what it is. But I don't talk about it a lot here on the show. You don't see me repping Celtics gear on here, although maybe – if we're getting some Nick Celtics action, maybe I'll have to do a few pelvic thrusts in your direction. We'll figure that out later. All right, let's go to a few more questions here, then we'll wrap up. How many offensive linemen do you think we carry on the final 53? Shadow Realm asks. Shadow, I think Joe Douglas was pretty upfront about it. I think he made a mistake. He picked 9 offensive linemen on the final 53 last year. He said he wished he would have had that 10th. And with all the injuries, I hope the Jets are over the top. Because that's what they've been this offseason, if you think about it. Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, Olu Fasho, they're going over the top to make sure that the one thing that F their season last year is F their season the last couple of years is offensive line depth and play. And they're like, okay, we are going to bat down the hatches so much that maybe something else screws up this team, but it's not going to be because of the offensive line. So I think it's at least 10. And we might push to 11. But I think it's not going to be 9. It's going to be 10 at least, I think, for the New York Jets. It's going to be that 10-11 number. That's what my gut says. And damn straight, as far as I'm concerned, damn straight for that. I really hope that ends up happening there from that perspective. John Sauer says, I believe Stiggers would be a safety. Looks like a perfect center field. I've heard both. I don't think the Jets have committed one way or the other. I've heard Aaron Rodgers talk about it. He has corner safety versatility, so he could float over there potentially. I'm curious because in this development process, probably no matter where you are, you're probably going to get to it anyway. So I don't think he's going to get a ton of playing time this year outside of special teams. So it will be curious. But the fact that he's versatile, more feathers in the cap, that could probably only help John. That's a good point, though. R&R jumps in. Jets got better, bigger, and tougher. And tougher, I'm going to be honest, it's one of those underrated things we don't talk about enough, R&R. But to be blunt, the Jets needed to get tougher. They need to have that bully ball, that ground and pound, the physicality, the violence on the offensive side of the football, that if you touch my quarterback, I'm going to light you up, pal. You don't touch Aaron Rodgers. You don't touch whoever it is. And there's been too much laissez-faire, lackadaisical crap as it pertains to a toughness. Like toughness, that's an attitude. That is a mentality that you just deliver to your team from training camp, preseason, spring OTAs, all of it. Like people aren't going to push us around. We're going to have that kind of gravitas. We're going to have that kind of, mentality coming through. So that's what I want to see. I want to see toughness. And the Jets certainly added more tough guys, but we need to see if that ends up being part of the fabric of this team because that's going to be a big difference. Dakota J. Sports Illustrated still has the Buffalo Buffoons remaining dominant in the AFC East. Again, I had a Bills guy on my show because this past week we did our final for my radio show in Syracuse. We did our final notch or tip of the cap to all the New York teams that we kind of cover. Bills, Giants, Jets. And when I had our Bills insider on my radio show, I said, are you, the Bills person, an advocate of the Ric Flair mentality. To be the man, you got to beat the man. So no matter what happens, do they still remain the champ until someone takes the championship away in terms of the AFC East? And he said yes. And that's fine. So if people are going to be on the Buffalo bandwagon, fine. They've won it 4 years in a row. The Jets haven't won it since 2002. People want to believe in that, and they want to see it to believe with the Jets. Fine. Let's go. We'll see what happens. I'll be curious. But, yeah, people want to ride the Buffalo Bills train, fine. But I'm telling you right now, the Jets are winning this gosh darn AFC East, baby. We're getting the home playoff game. I'm getting the T-shirt. I'm getting the AFC East shirt. I'm getting it all, baby. Let's go to Scott here on YouTube. Hot take. Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Yak King. Possible. I think the thing that the Jets would need to happen is Mike Williams isn't as fully back as he was. For him to get that kind of production, I would imagine. That would be my gut. That someone, because that would be the only way to get the production that will be necessary. But maybe the Jets offense will be so high flying that everyone's eating. Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, and Yak King, Malachi Corley. But boy, that'd be fun. We've only had one offensive rookie of the year in Jets franchise history. We've had a bunch of defenders win it. Sheldon Richardson, a bunch of defenders in the course of history win it. McMillan. But offense, it's been one guy. One. Garrett Wilson. So, yeah, let's add to the pile, baby, as far as I'm concerned. Phil says, maybe 2-3 years max for Rodgers. Rodgers has been adamant that it's not going to be a one-and-done thing. And that last year doesn't count. That, he's not just going to play in 2024 and ride off. Although if you win the Super Bowl, do you ride off into the sunset or do you go, you know what, let's try run it back to back or whatever happens? I think it's a minimum 2 years and let's see what happens. Does he stay healthy and wants to play 3 and keep going? Maybe. It's possible, I suppose. But my gut says it's minimum 2. Again, maybe they win the Super Bowl and they just say, you know what, we'll ride off into the sunset. That could be possible. A lot of people are not fans of Allen. Yikes. Sorry, people. Hey, baby, I love you got to have a couple of good heels. A couple of good heels on the show. Allen is a good heel, baby. He's a good heel. He stirs the pot very nicely. All right, let's go to our boy here, okay? He is replacing me as the greatest Jet show of all time. And let's bring him in. It is Tio, Uncle VR, Nick Shine. They got a brand new podcast. It's going to be the #1 podcast in the universe in no time at all. Let's bring him into the show. What's up, man? And welcome to the familia. Welcome to the Johanna. Welcome to the family of Jets universe, man. It's beautiful.
Hey, yo, thank you. Thank you for helping to promote the show, Sunday Shenanigans. It's a new venture with Nick Shine, and I'm hoping that we have some fun, we give some good content, and it's a spot in the week that is somewhere in the universe that I think we can have some fun and hopefully move forward with this season as a winning season, as an inaugural show that kind of latches on to the Jets winning the Super Bowl and being a part of that and being a part of the Jets family and the content creator family is going to be great. I wanted to ask
before you ask your question, I want you to give a promotion. So where can people find it? Where can people find it on the YouTube? Let's promote the heck out of it here. Where can people go right now if they want to subscribe to the channel?
Well, if you go to Proud NYJ fan and his page, Nick Shine, he's my partner on the show, and you can find all the content on there. It's Sundays at 9 p.m. And it's just going to be great material, great show. We'll put the links out there. We're still working some things out in regards to the partnership and how it'll be on my page and his. But for right now, it's on his page, and you'll be able to find us. We'll pop up on your links in your feed, and moving forward, we'll have more information on it, and it's just going to be a good time. So
well, congrats, man. That's awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the support, and as always, I support your show. You do great work. Despite the fact that I just found out that you're a Celtics fan. So
yeah, that is making I'm just scrolling through. I'm seeing the chat is quite upset with that fun fact. They are not pleased, but that should spice up the Eastern Conference Finals. If we get our destined matchup, that should make things pretty spicy. But the chat is not a fan of that, as I'm saying. They've made that very clear. Very
most
clear.
definitely. I'll definitely be calling in, after games to see
Please do.
what your take is, when the Knicks beat the Celtics, game after game. Well, I'll definitely call in and get
That'll be fun.
Your temperature
That'll
on
be
that.
good back and forth.
I didn't want to
Yes.
bring up the question that we actually went over this on our show this past Sunday. I wanted to get your take on the schedule. And one of the questions I asked Nick, and we kind of did a little format segment on this, was, of all the away games that the Jets are playing, that of all the teams, give me your top 3 places that you would like to personally go to as a Jets fan for for this season, if you had a choice.
Yeah, I will give you that answer right now. I'll also say we're going to be discussing at 3:00. I'll be back on with Woody. We're going to basically be debating our top 3 choices each of who we should open up the season against, and
Okay.
I will tell you a couple of them are on the road that I like, and also to visit. So right off the top, Pittsburgh. I've been to the city of Pittsburgh 1,000 times because I drove all over down the East Coast from New York to South Carolina a lot. So I've always passed through Pittsburgh before, but I've never been to their not Heinz Field, Acrisure, like an iconic franchise. They have like traditions and the terrible town and all that stupid stuff. But like it'd be kind of cool to be a part of that and get to see it. So that one's up there. I mean, San Francisco, if we're going to make a trip to the West Coast, one of my brothers lives out there. The San Francisco thing, again, another iconic franchise that's won a bunch of championships, and they've got traditions and they're a badass team, so you get a good opponent too. That's another one that'd be high up there on my road trip. And then I guess the only other one I'll throw out is I love this friggin' stadium. I love playing with it in Madden. I've heard people in the area talk about the fake snow that comes as part of their intro. The Minnesota Vikings. They have an absolutely picturesque friggin' stadium. I love SoFi. That looks awesome too. But Minnesota, that stadium, US Bank Stadium, looks spectacular. They have crazy intros, the color scheme, all of it is spectacular. So those would be, if I had to pick 3 to answer your question, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, and Minnesota. That stadium's friggin' beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, and I agree with you. Some of the content on the show on Sunday, I mentioned.
Yeah, what was your guys' answers for that?
For me, we went 5 through 1, and 5 was Minnesota, obviously,
Okay.
the
Yep.
Vikings, the Twin Cities, the town itself, everything. The fans are, they're diehard fans. The stadium, the horn, skull, all that stuff. I mean, just being around the energy of that is just awesome. It's really great. And then Pittsburgh was another one that I picked for personal reasons. My son goes to second year University of Pittsburgh. So,
congratulations, man! Nice.
Get to visit him there, and also Pramani Brothers. The stadium is really nice, and who doesn't want to see us kick the Steelers' butt and just be there, just in the face, And San Francisco, I lived out in the Bay Area for a bit.
Cool.
Really. I haven't been to the new stadium, which is down in Santa Clara, but I used to always go to Candlestick Park, and the history, and Dwight Clark and Joe Montana, and
of course the catch. Yeah,
stuff.
right.
So yeah, I mean, like that's always, the fans there are really diehard fans. They they really do great tailgates and stuff. So there's a good energy there too, and the city and the nightlife there as well. And then the other two, just rounding it off, was Tennessee. Again, Tennessee was a place that I used to go a lot in the early 90s, and the city was kind of depressed, even though it had the history of the rock and roll and the country and
music,
stuff like
right?
that.
Yeah, of course.
But since that time, they've built up, and really the nightlife, everything there, the city itself, is just a beautiful place. The draft was there a few years ago. It was
that looked awesome,
wonderful.
Yeah.
And then Arizona was my top choice.
Interesting.
Arizona,
okay, do tell on that one.
Yeah, Arizona, the city. I mean, like you throw a dart in the city, whether it's Phoenix, Sedona. I mean, you can golf, you can go to the spa. The nightlife is beautiful. There's a lot of transplanted New Yorkers there, so you'll be around your people who bleed jet green and the brethren there. And so, I mean, like, it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful place. I would recommend anyone going to the Cardinals games to go there for a week instead of like a weekend, because you really want to take advantage of that opportunity of just, doing all of the daytime and nighttime events there in that city. So those are the games that I picked on Sunday, and I stand by my choices. I think they're really, really good. But any game is going to be great energy, and being around fans like ourselves, our familia, as you mentioned, doing games and stuff like that. It's going to be great. So, yeah, good choices, man. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and get your opinion on that. Great show as always. Love you, Boy Green. Your hats are awesome, man. I come in every morning just to see what hat you have on. They're super awesome, man. Big fan of the show and big fan of you.
Well, thank you so much, brother. Thank you for popping in. Again, check out his show, everybody. That's awesome. Some Sunday shenanigans. And I imagine we're going to have a lot of Sunday shenanigans coming up this season. There's no doubt about it. Some creative choice there. Arizona and stuff was like, okay. I didn't Tennessee. I didn't give that enough love, but some compelling stuff. That's interesting. Okay. Like I said, live at 3 o'clock today, we'll be back on live on the show, me and Woody, and we'll be talking about, we'll be wrestling back and forth on who should be the season opener. Again, there's been some rumors. The full schedule's coming out on Thursday. Who knows if that's going to be true, but we can speculate until it comes out there so we could battle it out. I do hope, though. There's a lot of juicy road games, but I would love for all of us to all get together, baby, and do something for the season opener or something. Oh, that'd be cool. A home game at MetLife, some primetime game I think it's going to be. Ooh, okay. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, let me answer a few more questions here. Jared B. Paul, do you want Marcus May back? Yes, I do. I'd love Marcus May back for the right price. Give him an op. Take one more veteran safety. I'd probably wait another month and see who's out there, whether it's Simmons or May or Diggs or whoever. I think in a month they're going to be even cheaper, and then the Jets can kind of pluck the ripest fruit and throw it in the room. So, Jared B., I would love to. I'd love to add Marcus May back. Why not? Let's bring him in the group. Let's see what he's got. See if he has anything left. He's a talented player. The team really loved him when he was here. I know it got a little weird with the agent stuff at the end, but he was just trying to do his stuff. So I'm all about it. That would be great. So sign me the hell up as far as that's concerned. That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. All right, everybody. I love it. The chat is lively. I wish I could stay on even longer, but I got to run to the radio station because I got to do some Syracuse Mets baseball, baby. That's one of my other jobs that I do, and they have some morning baseball today, so I got to run to the station and take care of that game. But everybody, thanks for joining us, and then after that game, I'll be doing the live with Woody. So we'll be back here in just a couple hours. Everybody, make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe. Over 700 people in the room right now. I love it. Thanks for the support as always, everybody, and the channel's been blowing up, and I love it. So, yeah, we'll be doing some more schedule breakdown stuff. We'll also be talking about 53-man roster projections, depth charts. I got all kinds of stuff on the list over here for stuff that's coming up in the next couple of days. So we'll see you back at 3 o'clock, baby, to talk some NFL schedule. Plus, we'll be back tomorrow morning as well at 7:30 in the morning. JETS. Jets, 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 baby. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.